I washed my potatoes and I'm just going to cut them up like so. You cut your potatoes how you want to cut them. I'm just cutting mine very small and petite. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and turn the pot on. I have my Italian sausage cooking, but I'm going to turn the pot on so I can go ahead and get my chicken broth to boiling. So, and you can just, for your soup, you can just kind of eyeball it. Right now I have about 7 small petite red potatoes to cut up, and that's just judging it like on a family of 3 and wanting a little bit of leftovers. So just cutting these up into squares, and then I'm about to put my, it also calls for a little bit of water too, so I'm about to put my pot on so that I can add my water and chicken broth to it, because that is what I'll be cooking my potatoes in. Kind of boiling your potatoes so they can get soft but not like mushy, just kind of soft. So that's the next step. I forgot, guys, I did leave out a few ingredients. So you do need an onion. You also need water for this recipe. I got about a cup of water, and I'll just add it as I desire. And you're gonna also use about 3.5 cups of chicken broth, or to your desire. I'm also going to add in, like toward the end of the recipe, I'll be almost done, I'm going to add in some real bacon, and yes, or a little bit of garlic. So when you're cooking your Italian sausage, once your Italian sausage is done, what you're going to do is transfer your Italian sausage to a bowl or just somewhere it can settle, and you're going to cook like your onions. You can do minced garlic and bacon. If it wasn't already done, you would saute that in a skillet together, but since my bacon is already done, I'll only be sauteing my onion and my minced garlic together. Oh, in case you were wondering how I chop my onion, I've got several probably videos on this, but what I do is most times I hold it in my hand, and hold on, let me make sure you can see. Okay, so most times I will slice it vertically, and you just have to have a steady, careful hand for this. And then I will turn the onion and slice again vertically so that it's like a tic-tac-toe board. And then all you have to do is take your knife and go over the top like this, and it basically just minces up your onion for you. So it just makes slicing up onion quicker. So I'm slicing up my onion. My sausage is about halfway done. And you do want to kind of mince up your onion, because you don't want like big chunks of, or big slices of onion in your soup. This onion will actually cook down and be really small. So like when you're eating your soup, you won't, like the flavor of the onion will be there, but it won't be like you're chewing onions in every bite. That makes sense. So I mince my onion up. I also figured that I would need more heavy whipping cream, and I just had some more in the fridge. So you normally will need about 1/4 whipping cream. Just depends upon the creaminess that you desire. Like this recipe, basically you just have to make it your own. I gave you the main ingredients that you need, like potatoes, kale, chicken broth, water, and heavy whipping cream. But then you can just kind of put your own touch on it. And that's kind of what I've done. I've put my own touch on the recipe. Okay, so this is what my Italian sausage looks like. I still have it kind of cooking. It's on 3. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, hold on. So it's on 3, and I'm just letting it brown. If you can, just trying to get it a little bit more brown. And this is my potatoes. I have used 1 cup of chicken broth. No, 1 cup of water and 3.5 cups of chicken broth. And so I'm gonna let this come to a boil, simmer. I'm probably gonna put a top over it, like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and saute my onions and my garlic. I'm going to remove this from the skillet and then add my onion and garlic. I'm going to spray a little bit of canola oil because I don't have any grease from my Italian sausage produced. So that's what I'm going to do. So you guys, this is what my sauteed onions are looking like. It's sauteed onions and minced garlic. You can use fresh garlic. Sorry. You can use fresh garlic, but I just use, you know, minced garlic. So I'm just going to let this saute, and then I'm going to add it to my pot. And then there's my meat. And then I'm going to add my meat, my onions to my pot, and let it all just, yeah, you know, like the flavors come together. I'll give you precise minutes and times on how long you need to let everything cook. But it's really to your liking, because some people may want their soup to be like, their potatoes to be moist, and I only want my potatoes to be really soft. I don't want them to be mashed. So yeah. So you guys, my potatoes are at a good boil. What I'm going to do now is add my beef, well, my Italian sausage and my sauteed onions. And like the total cook time for this recipe, you guys, can be 25 to 30 minutes, just depending upon how your stove cooks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let, ooh, it's fogging up because it's so hot. Hold on. So what I'm gonna do now is add a cup of heavy whipping cream to this. And so then I'm going to put the top back on it and let it cook for about 10 more minutes. You guys. Let it cook for about 10 more minutes. And then I'm going to add my kale at the very end and let it cook for like 10 more minutes. And then that'll be it. Okay, you guys, so I don't know what that last clip looks like, but I've added about a cup of heavy whipping cream. I've added my Italian sausage and my onion, and so that's what it's looking like. I'm going to put the top back on it and let it simmer for about 10 to 15 more minutes. I'm going to add about 2 cups of kale and let it cook for another 10 to 15 minutes, and then it should be done. And I'll show you guys what it looks like all plated up. Before I plate it up, I thought it was only fair and appropriate for me to show you when I add kale. So I'm just going to pour from the bag. This kale's been triple washed. I know some people will wash it over. I normally do, but I trust and believe that it'll be clean. You know, that's just me being lazy. But you add as much as you like. I mean, my recipe calls for like 2 cups, because just like spinach, kale cooks down. So I'm going to add in my kale, and I guess you want to add your kale according to how much soup you're making. So for the typical recipe, you may want to add about 2 cups, but like if you were making more and like doubled your ingredients or whatnot, of course you would add more. So I'm going to mix that in there really good, because you want your kale to have a chance to really cook down and allow the seasoning to work into your kale. And what I've done, you guys, is I did add seasonings, but I didn't like walk you through them because I feel like season is a personal choice. So what I used was a little bit of Cajun seasoning and black pepper. I don't use a lot of salt, and I don't have any Himalayan salt. Otherwise, I would probably put just a sprinkle of that in there. So that's about how much kale I'm gonna add to it. It probably was about 3 cups instead of 2. I'm gonna put the top back on it and let it cook some more. So this is what the soup looks like, all plated up. You got your potatoes, your kale, a little Parmesan to use as a topping, and your Italian sausage and whatnot. So this is what it looks like, all good. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe.